is Arteta better than Conte? And obviously Arteta's doing a great job right now, no doubt about it. And to have Arsenal top of the league right now, with the way he's gone about his business, you have to say he's doing a phenomenal job, Mikel Arteta. But is he better than Antonio Conte? Well, Conte, I think, given the time in the job, has done more with his set of players than Arteta did in the same amount of time. Arteta's now been there for over 3 years, and obviously having you challenging for a title with the young squad that he has is a phenomenal job. And I know Conte this season, there's some of the football hasn't been the best, and you could argue he maybe could be getting more out of his players, but I still think. Conte, the last time he won a title was in 2021. It was still fairly recent. I still think that a functioning Conte team does play good football. We showed that last season. At the back end of last season, was scoring lots and lots of goals. And Arteta, as much as he's doing very well at the moment, still needs to, still hasn't finished in the top 4 yet. He still needs to. I know. He looks very likely to do it this season. I know he's, they're in a title challenge, but we're not even halfway through the season yet. He hasn't achieved what anything like Conte has so far. So, can you put Arteta ahead of Conte right now?
Well, as it's from managing Arsenal to managing Spurs, yeah, because I think Conte, got in the top 4 last season and done a great job doing that. And I think that was a difference last season. But Arteta has won an FA Cup, where I have to say, I quite like Conte before he came to Spurs. For obvious reasons, I don't like him now. But I just think that he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing at Tottenham. I really do. They've been very, very negative against a lot of the teams that I think Tottenham should beat. Even like watching the game against Portsmouth, wasn't great to watch. And I do think that. I don't know if he gets a little bit of a pass, because of where they are. They're still very much in with a chance of top 4. Let's be honest with that. Tottenham's still winning with a chance because of. I don't know whether it's Conte or you've got Kane. You know what I mean, or a couple of players and all that. But I've been, not say disappointed with Tottenham because it's quite pleasing to watch. But they've not really gone for teams. You know what I mean, like the Aston Villa game. You know what I mean, didn't really stamp their authority in that game. And he comes out and moans about this and moans about that. Well, you're the one that put that team out there and the tactics that you've done. If I'll be honest, at the beginning of the season, I'd have probably said I'd take Conte. I'll really say that. But what the football I'm watching at Arsenal and the football that I'm watching or I'm seeing of Tottenham when I'm watching Tottenham is chalk and cheese at the moment. So. If you're very happy with Conte, then that's fine. I'm very, very happy with Arteta at this moment in time. And I will say this: we've had to go through some bloody tough times. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean, to get where we are now. You haven't gone through as tougher times to get where you are with Conte. So at this moment in time, I'm very, very happy with Conte where he is, and I'm very, very happy with Arteta where he is. So we'll leave it at that.
No, but I hear that. But what I would say is, I agree with you. Maybe Arteta has went through that. In his first season, he finished 8th. In his second season, he finished 8th again after a really bad patch of form. I think he lost 7 out of 8 games, and he looked like a dead man walking. And then obviously his third season, he finished 5th, and then now he's in his 4th season, and he's flying, and you can't deny that. But Conte has only just been in a job just over a year now. And he's already got us top 4 after we were languishing in mid-table. That's already happened. Second season now, we're in the mix for top 4. Obviously, I think the disappointing thing is when you look at Conte versus Arteta from a Tottenham fan point of view is at the end of last season, we pipped you for 4th, right? And we thought, or I thought anyway, the fact that we pipped you for 4th was going to be really important when it comes to the trajectory of both clubs. We were hoping that, with Conte at the helm, having pipped you for 4th, we were going to be the team now to push on and challenge for a title and push Man City. Because I really believed in the second half of last season, the form we were showing, we were one of the form teams in the league. I think since Conte got appointed, I think in the last after January, I think we got more points than City and Liverpool in a certain period after January. So we were really showing good form, and the disappointing thing is we haven't pushed on from that, and Arsenal made some smart signings, and they are the ones who have pushed on more than Tottenham. That's the truth. But you have to remember.
So who's that down to then?
But you have to remember. Conte has only been here just over a year. Arteta has, you could argue, when Arteta first came in Arsenal, you won the FA Cup and you were on a high, and then it went back down again in the second season until you started to improve. You know what I mean? So just because Conte. Maybe obviously we got a massive bump when he first came in, but you just have to remember he's been here a third of the time or less than Arteta right now, so he still needs time to build his team.
Yeah, I'm not, give him as much time as you want. You know what I mean, from that point of view. And I hear what you're saying, but I think with Arsenal, it was a definite different job to what Conte's got, because there's a rebuilding job at Arsenal. We had to really, look at the play. We had to bring in young players. We had to do a lot different. Tottenham. You still got Song, you still got Kane, still there, two world-class players. What I would say now, I'm not so much Kane, but certainly with Song has not improved under Conte, and going from the beginning of the season, Spurs fans were singing and dancing. You won the transfer window, brought in some players, and it's not quite gone as Tottenham expected. And I think you have to look at the manager for that. I have to, look at that and say, like we have done with Arteta. When you're playing teams like Aston Villa, and you're playing very, very defensive. Not just Aston Villa, you've been very, very defensive. I'll go to allude to the game against Liverpool. And negative that was in the first half. Go 2-0 down and then come out and probably should have won. Brentford. Another game, awful. Go 2-0 down, should have won the game in the end. And so, I think you've got to look at. I think I'm going to be really honest with you here. I think Conte, for whatever reason, gets a little bit of a pass from Spurs fans.
Well, I think the football could have been better this season, no doubt about it. But I think when you look at, first of all, Arteta came in you look at the team Arteta had when he came in to the team that's now, it's all different. I think it's. Yeah. I think personnel-wise, who's in the squad? You have Saka. When he came in, very few. If you look at the starting 11, very few players now are in the team now than when Arteta did. Conte again has only been here a year. It's still a very similar team to what he had. And we say that Arteta needed a real rebuilding job, and Conte maybe not so much, but. I believe Conte needs this. I think we've been calling out for a rebuild. You've got to remember the 2 seasons before we appointed Conte, we finished 6th and 7th in consecutive seasons. I know, and remember Kane when he came in, Kane didn't want to know. He was off the ball completely. He wanted to leave. You got to remember when Arteta came in. People say it's a rebuild, everything, and it's true, but he's the one who gave Aubameyang the new contract. Aubameyang was top goal scorer one of the top goal scorers in the league when he came in, and Arteta gave him a new contract. So yeah, we had Kane, but you had Aubameyang and the top goal scorer. You couldn't make it work as much as Conte's made it work with Kane. I think that we've needed big surgery at that in the back line. We're still playing players like Ben Davies and Eric Dyer, who've been playing for 10 years now, who are just not good enough, and our defence is suffering for that. And I really believe once Conte can fix that back line, we're going to see a much improved Spurs team. And it's one thing coming in for 6 months like he did last season, playing 1 game a week and improving the performances. But now it's a different kettle of fish this season, and he needs more time. I think, and he's still 5th in the league and in the last 60 in the Champions League, and still in the mix for top 4 and everything. So we're still doing okay. And I still believe that if we had, but I think Arteta's had a lot more time. I think given if Conte is still here in 3 years' time, I reckon we're much better.
They're different managers, aren't they? I hear what you're saying, but Conte is not a manager for a rebuild. If you want to rebuild and do what you're doing, Conte's not the man. Conte's more of a here now, let's get it done now sort of manager. Loads of money that he's had at Chelsea and everything like that. And if he doesn't get his way, out come his toys like he did at Inter, and off he goes. So that's the way that I don't know if that's what Spurs need or want. You know, a lot of fans at this moment in time. You're more aware of it than me. I'm only going from my family and my mates that are Spurs fans. They're not happy. They're not happy with the way that he's playing. They're not happy about him, and they're a little bit mixed about, you know, whether they want him to stay or not. You know, so it'd be. I think it's an interesting few weeks for Conte as well. Like, you know what I mean? I don't, as a manager, as a fan or whatever. Like, I'll laugh about it when it comes to Tottenham. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, he comes out, slags off the team, slags off the club. You know what I mean? Saying that what he was saying. Oh, we're a top 5 club. You know, Spurs fans have got to get used to where we are and all that. Like, then they get a win the next week, and it's, oh, I didn't mean that, and everything. It was lost in translation, all that. When a Spurs fan's going to say, oh, hold on a minute, you take enough's enough, you know. But I think there is this desperation for Tottenham to win a trophy, and if Tottenham are going to win a trophy, I think you've got more of a chance of winning it with him than, say, going down a route of a rebuild. Spurs do need to address their defence. You know what I mean? It's shaky, but I don't know who's it was Emerson Royal under Conte's watch.
He was signed before
under Conte's watch. You know what I mean? Like the left back. Whatever happened to him, the left back from Real Madrid, he was very, very good. Reguilon. Whatever happened to him? He was decent. All of a sudden, Conte's come to the club and he's gone. You know what I mean? Foyth was another one that was decent, doing some bits now for Argentina and Villarreal. Spurs have had defenders, but I don't know. You know what I mean? I think. Do you know what someone said to me the other day as a Spurs fan, and you know what I mean, turned around and said that Spurs under Conte, the players have been whipped too much.
Maybe, but they needed it, I guess. Yeah, I get. Look, they're overcoached. I guess is the criticism sometimes, because Conte likes things done on the pitch his way, and
sometimes you've got to be a little bit, you know, like let the shackles off. When Tottenham let the shackles off, they're a decent side. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I think it's a very interesting thing. At the end of the day, if you're going to say, and you know, it's laughable if you think about it. Like when we was in here last time around, if you'd have said to me, "Who do you want, Conte or Arteta?" I would have jumped on Conte all day long. Not now, and that's the difference at this moment in time. Not, you know, results do help, but the way Arsenal are playing, some of the football they're playing now, and it ain't all about. It's not all about superstar players. It's not all about. It is about a team. Arsenal is a team, and you know, so it's an interesting debate, that one. Like, but I'm happy with Arteta. Thank you very much.
Fair enough.